Yeah, let's call the meeting to order, and and do we have to, remind me, I'm sorry, do we have to nominate the meeting to start, or is that just for the minutes? Okay, thank you. And then we have minute approval from our last meeting. We have a motion to approve that.
Motion to approve.
Do we have a second? Motion approved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. The first topic is to talk about the historical records scanning project. I didn't really have a chance to talk to you guys beforehand, but I know you guys have been working together on the historic homes project, but I was wondering, Kim, if I could ask you to either temporarily step off of that or in addition to help with the scanning project. It's just something that needs to happen during the day, and I just don't have the capacity to step in there.
Well, and I don't think we need somebody over it because I think we're just going to send everything to UCI.
Yes, but
Right?
not everything
You want somebody to go through this
processed.
stuff.
Yeah,
Okay.
not everything was reviewed, and I know that Perry had come up with an organization system which was great and we can still use, but just to process everything through that system and then decide
What we want to send.
and manage that.
Okay.
Yeah, and I can show you, I can take the time to do that. I just won't be able to do anything after that. Thank you.
Ben, so on the scanning project, do you want to, once Kim decides what documents we're going to scan, do you want to make it so that we can go ahead and send more boxes?
Yeah, because
Like, so that we don't have to meet again before we can send more boxes, just like get an approval?
right. The discussion we had before was to send one and see
Yeah.
how it went, see what it looked like.
Yeah, and we did, we did that.
I did not know that.
Yeah,
we had sent
we did it. I got the receipt back. I have it on a hard drive. And I'm hoping that once Kim decides what other documents to send off, that we can just go ahead and do that without having to get approval from everybody again.
Would you be able to send that
Yeah.
to me so we?
I have it right here if you want to see it,
Okay.
but do you want to just see it later so you can review it?
Yeah, just
Okay.
so I can see it visually. That'd be great. Thank you.
How much is it going to cost?
Well, okay, so if you look at this bill, the hard drive was $65. And then the biggest amount they charged was $208. And then plus $139. So it's probably going to be about $300 a box,
That was a banker's
Do you
box.
think there
a
are?
banker's box. I think, how many boxes do you think there are, Ben? 3? I know. I can picture the drawer and I think it's going to be 3 or 4 more boxes. Yeah. Yeah, but they'll go through, like, that box had, like, bigger items. It had pictures, so they have to, like, open everything up and then scan it. And anyway, they've called me every month. These guys are really, like, good at their job, and they keep asking, are you ready for us to pick up another box?
Everything came back in great.
Yeah, it came back exactly how I sent it, and yeah. So, do we want to, I don't know how we need to do it so that we have like a motion to approve spending that money on the remainder of the project, if that's okay.
Sure. Do we have to have that motion in the minutes released to the public before we can do that, though? Does that mean it has to wait till the next meeting?
No, I think we can, as long as we have it in agreement, we can move forward. It doesn't have to be approved.
How much is our budget yearly?
5,000.
5,000?
And you want to spend it, so you want to get this project done by the end of June.
We haven't really spent that much. I mean, the last we spent was contributing towards the community center displays and pictures, but nothing.
And I
really
think
since then.
that was all in last year's budget.
Did the
So
plaque go to last year's budget for the Catron family?
that went to this year's budget. How much was that? I can't,
I think it was 500.
because when did we, I can't keep track of time.
That was
Was it in the fall?
was
Sounds
in
like
October.
November.
Yeah, so it did go to this year's budget,
The
but
only
that's
reason I
only-
asked, like, I'm fine with that. I just wonder when we get to the plaques for the helms, how
I
much
know,
we'll
I
have
want-
left over for that.
I know, well, I think we'll have plenty. That's why I want to like get approval for some of this stuff so we could get the plaques ordered and so we can get the scanning done and spend all of our budget by the end of June. Okay,
So, motion to contribute some budget for the remainder of the banker boxes? Did someone,
I'll make that motion to do it.
second? All in favor? Aye. Approved. Okay. One of the bigger topics that I wanted to talk about is, we had mentioned this in the past, but we haven't talked about too much recently. Talked about a booth at Town Days. And what I felt like we needed to have accomplished before we did that was getting the Historic Homes project up and running and on the website, doing the oral history project up and running on the website, having the website structured a little bit differently, and then having some photos on there for people to view. We've done good on getting the oral history project and the Historic Homes project up and running compared to where they were when we started. We still need to work on getting that information on the website. And then I know you guys, you know, you've created the brochure, but we haven't had it professionally printed off like we had talked about and working through the communications department. And we still need to have some pictures uploaded on the website. My question is, do you guys think that we would be able to accomplish that by Town Days? And two, would you guys have availability and a willingness to, I don't know if we would want to do the entire time or if we would just want to do a portion of time that people can access the park. But I was hopeful that once we had accomplished those things that we could then have some signs, some pictures, and have conversations with people as they walk past, give some brochures, just to help the average citizen be aware of, you know, what we're trying to do and what opportunities they have to look into Riverton history more. So what's your thoughts on that?
I think we'll for sure, especially after tonight when we all commit to what we want this brochure to look like, that's what we've been waiting on. We can have that committed easily to have everything with our project done. As for the booth, I'm probably gonna be out of town, but if we can portion it out where we all have like a certain time where we could commit, I think that's doable for the whole committee.
if you're out of town, would you be able to even be at the booth?
That's what I'm saying is like if I do go out of town, no, but if
Oh, okay.
I'm able to.
Well, because we're getting short-staffed on the commission, that's the only reason I'm like, I would love to have a booth, but I don't know. Because did I hear, Sherry, you were saying you might have to step down also. So we only have 3 of you.
Right.
You can't sit there all day. Just kidding.
Okay.
Yeah. So do we,
That's
You know, it's a great idea, although it would be way more fun to be in the parade, to get advertising out. But I think if you can get that brochure ready, then you could put it at the Riverton Town Days booth, which they'll have assignments for, and it'll be staffed all day. And so if you had a couple of pictures, then those of us that sit at that booth, and you could come, certainly you're welcome, then we could get that information out, and it would be less stress for the commission.
Could one of us sit at that booth instead of creating another one, and then we'd be available to help?
okay, because your booth is for council members and for staff.
Get permission, but I can't see, it's not an unreasonable request.
Yeah.
And even, I love that idea too, because we can even have just a stack of the brochures and a copy of the plaque of what it would be and say, hey, also, this is what the commission's doing, right? Instead of having a full new booth. I think that's great. And I think we can get those ready by Town Days and even a plaque, like a example of what it would look like by then.
Yeah, as soon as we give him the go-ahead, I think he can, and he'd probably rather do it like right now
Yeah.
than, because he starts getting into all the Town Day stuff and it's busy, so.
Great.
Yeah, that was the other thing I thought of bringing up, is that if we decide to do this, we gotta get a lot of, anything that we have to work with the communications department on, we need to do sooner than later, for sure.
But Brooke is, he's already done all the pre-work for this brochure. He's just waiting for us to make the last couple of decisions, and then he's ready to go.
That has been waiting so long
Then
for us to
could
get
you
to.
ask about that, Tish? And give it, oh, okay. Yeah, I really like that idea, Tish, because I was worried that, one of us or a couple of us would be giving up our whole holiday to man that booth. So that's great, because we will still have opportunities to talk to people, but don't necessarily have to do it the whole time.
We have our business cards there too, because we have the historic preserve.
And in the parade either, but that sounds,
So,
It's a goal, maybe not this year, but next year for sure.
and then the next item is the state history competition that you talked about.
You know, I think it's too late, but just for next year, they always do this really cool competition for the high school, and they're always looking for judges. And you can choose how many of the competitions you want to participate in or not. And you go and you listen to these high school kids make a presentation about some part of history, and you score it. It's an all-day event, but it's pretty impressive. And then it goes all the way up to the state. You know, they start at the county and, the school level and go all the way up. So next year I'll just send it out when it's going to happen, and you can read it. You do have to make a commitment. You do have to do a little bit of training before you can be a judge. But if you love history, it's really a fun way to spend a day.
What month is that typically in?
But I think they're doing it right now.
Okay, so March, April.
Okay, Riverton Park history. A few of those submitted. Did Jamie, did you hear anything on those?
Hear anything back? I forwarded them on to the Parks Department and to the communications, but I never heard back, so. But I don't know what they're doing with them.
Yeah, that was an interesting dilemma, because the parks that we did have the history on, it was hard to keep it small to be within 50 words, and then the parks that we didn't have any history on, it was hard to get up to that. So I hope it works out. But let me know if they have any feedback or want anything different.
Okay. Well, that's what I don't know for sure, and I haven't had a chance to talk to him in person. Because I know that originally when they gave us that assignment, they wanted it by like January 1st, right? So I don't know what ever happened. They never asked me again for it. And then I had forgotten about it till Ben sent me the list, so I'll try to find out from Brooke what happened.
Because I have a binder that has the history of some of the parks in it, many of the parks. And so they may be able to use this, just from when Mont Evans was mayor, so it goes back a ways.
Yeah,
Didn't I give you something?
yeah, you gave me a binder of,
It may have been that same thing, because
yeah, I could look at it and see if it matches it.
Yeah, okay, I will. I'm happy to give it to somebody.
Okay, oral history project. Jeff wasn't able to be here today. The two things I know that needs to be worked on for that project is, one, we needed to create an area on the website for that, And then they were also going to look into ways that people can easily record it on their own and then submit it, so that we didn't have to rely on anyone from the commission to physically be there to interview people. So more on that as it develops, and then I'll work with Jeff to get that done before town days, so that.
So you're just gonna allow people to get online and tell their story? So you're not gonna look for specific people to interview?
We want to do both,
You wanna do both?
right? Because I felt like if we were just looking for specific people, then that really limits us on the number of people we can record on their history.
You'll miss somebody for sure.
Right.
Okay, and my question is, does anybody have any objections? I've always wanted to interview on the bench. And so I found somebody that would help me do that, but I didn't want to intrude if somebody's already doing that.
We didn't have any current plans for that person. Yeah, so any help you can do, that'd be great. If it has to be in someone's home, I mean, that's fine. If they're able to leave their home, the Riverton office building has a great setup there for recording both audio and video.
Well, there you go, that's what I did.
Do you think you'll go there? Do you think you'll go to the Family History Center? Okay, because I bought, on our budget, I bought a bunch of the flash drives. So you just need to grab one. Yeah, and that way, because you have to bring a brand new one to the Family History. Yeah, so I can get that for you.
I know my thing's up next.
You're fine.
Forever, right?
30 years, long time, faithfully came, just as a citizen to be involved in what was going on in the community. So I just think that's a unique accomplishment.
And then didn't she also come to every town days? Like, she's the one that would hand out the tickets, yeah.
And on top of that, they never had any children, and they had 27 different kids that lived in their home through a variety of programs. So I think she'd be very interesting and impressive. And she's getting ready to die, she told me. So we gotta get it done. She
Tish.
said, I'm cleaning out my documents, Tish. I'm getting ready to go.
Tish, I know you know my grandpa, Michael Johnson.
Yes.
He also came for 30-plus years. And I've been talking with him about Riverton history, and I mean, he grew up on 3600 West back in the 40s, and his grandpa grew up there, right? So is it something that we can just do? Like, I can just go and interview my grandpa and just talk about his childhood? And I don't know if there's like specific questions we as a committee want to ask, so we can have that categorized, or is it more just like tell us about X, Y, Z?
Well, Brooke and Jeff had a list of questions they came up with. So I wonder if we could reach out and at least have them email the questions
Because I would
as
even
a
love
starting
to
point.
take him with those questions to get him actually videoed and recorded
It's
professionally.
awesome there. Yeah, and you're welcome to use one because it's still going to be for, even if it's your grandpa, you're getting family history and,
Yeah, right?
yeah, and city history.
Right. I mean, you don't have to use the questions. They came up with it to try to structure the interview a little bit, but even then, it was kind of a learning experience because they did do an interview, a couple of interviews actually, and it's kind of this worked, this didn't, and it's evolving for the list of questions they felt like worked. But I would say the only as far as our interest here, the only guidance I would give anyone would just be to focus on Riverton history and their connection to Riverton.
I mean, it's so fun sitting with him talking about the old 126 and the old, the drugstore that used to be there, where Walgreens is now. Like, he has a ton of Riverton history, so I think he'd be perfect. I love it. If I can get those questions and then maybe.
I know, I have a little note. Do you want me to email Jeff and see if him or Brooke can send those off? Brooke might respond too, and I'll just at least get those for our files
And then when I
as
have
a starting point.
do I go to you to set that up, or how, what's our
Well, I'll
connection
just,
there?
if you follow me downstairs, I'll give you a little flash drive, and then you don't have to do anything else with me, but just
Yeah.
give us a copy when you're done, so we can make sure.
And is it just like you just show up during the day, or how does that?
You have to make it, yeah,
Yeah.
but it's really
I can get
easy
you
on
the
their
information.
website.
Yeah, that'd be fun. That's a fun family.
Yeah, I'd love to do it.
Okay, cool.
Okay. Sherry, can you share with us the
Sure.
information that you brought?
Yeah, so when I originally had talked about maybe, maybe 4 down there, don't you? Maybe doing continuing the history book. And so I called Scott Crump, and, because him and Mel Bayshore were the ones that did the first book. And I just kind of talked to him, and he said that the first book ends in 1993. The chapters that need to go on are chapter 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, appendix 2, and appendix 3. He gave me some sources that we could use. I know we're not going to be doing this right away, and that's why I wanted to get this written down and make sure everybody had this information, because I thought it was very important. But the City Journal, which used to be called the South Valley Journal, he said there are binders here at the city offices of newspaper. I don't know if somebody knows where those are at. He said they were behind this, but I'm thinking he might have been thinking when the city council was facing the other direction. I don't know.
The newspaper articles, what your uncle scanned in? Were they the newspaper articles? Yeah, but those binders, okay, those binders are on our website now. Did Nate put them on the website? Okay.
Yeah, well, and they didn't go all the way, I mean, you really have to get more, but there's, U of U has digitized newspapers, Riverton Family Search Center they have access on their computers to newspapers, a lot of newspapers. He suggested city council minutes, Jordan School District minutes, oral reviews of past mayors, Evans, Applegarth, etc., and of Riverton residents and stuff. So as you're doing the oral histories and stuff, we could put little bits into there as well for people. A class at Rosecrest, I think it was Rose Creek Elementary School, several years ago. It's back when they were using cassette tapes, so that'll tell you how long ago it was. They they went over to the senior center, which was over here at the time, and interviewed a lot of people. I know only two names have been mentioned to me, Marilee Withers and Alan Stocking, or a couple of the ones that they did. She typed up, the one teacher that I talked to, she typed up all of the interviews off the cassettes, so it's in written form. They've got a copy of it up at the state capitol in the archives there. There's supposed to be a copy here. And there was one at Rose Creek, if it didn't get thrown out. They've got a new principal there now and stuff, so. And one of the teachers was Loie Glass. She lives over in the Riverton Ranch ward, or Riverton Ranch subdivision over here. She was talking to me about it, so I actually had 2 people just start telling me about this, and I'm thinking, oh, okay, this is important. He's also suggested the history of Riverton High School, and I'm sure there's other schools, middle school, elementary schools that need to be, have the history of them as well. Some of the things he mentioned, the principals of Riverton High School, the first-year teachers. He said Leanna Wilmore wrote the school song. I don't know who she is. Other school buildings.
Let me tell you who she is.
Okay,
She
please.
conducts the bell rounds
Oh,
on Salt Lake
okay.
Temple Square.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, she went up there. She was a teacher at Riverton High,
Okay,
and then she got the big job.
yeah.
She had a picture.
And that's not an easy, well, are they just the handbells like
The
this?
handbell,
Oh,
she
okay.
conducts that choir,
Yeah, my husband's, he's got a cousin that lives in England, and they do the big,
Oh, wow.
yeah. And we got to bring him one time when we were there, so it was kind of fun.
That's awesome.
That's cool.
So I've been a bell ringer. And then general suggestions that he made, make a timeline of events, have 2 or 3 writers to edit each other's work. We need researchers to find the information, keep accurate records, always use footnotes. He said, always use footnotes to document information, so nobody can come back and say, where did you find that? And you don't know where you found the information.
Who did you talk to?
Scott Crump.
It was Scott, okay.
Was Scott Crump. He's on a mission, and he said he would advise. And I do have his phone number if you want it.
I'm gonna have contact information for Mel.
Okay.
With him.
Yeah. 'cause
Okay, so that's what I was gonna ask. Who wrote the,
They both did,
Mel and Scott?
Mel and Scott. And he also suggested that the writing style continue the way it was already
Sure.
started, you know.
Here's the best way to make that happen is for him to keep going,
I
That's
know.
what I was gonna say.
which I know he does not want to do.
I know, I'm sure that was a big job, because I think there was only Karen and Mel and Scott that worked on that.
Incredible what they did. I mean, I know Mel was doing research for 20-plus years, even before they started the book.
Wow.
So, I mean, there's a lot of work that goes into it. And when he talked to me, I'm going, yeah, this is not a one-person job.
Scott,
Not at all.
I jokingly talked to him the process of what, he did and such and that, and he said, well, how much is the city gonna pay me?
Well, we have a $5,000 budget
A year.
per year.
So I just wanted to share that because I thought that would be good to know where to start and what keep going and.
So those are the chapters he suggests. Wow, that's great.
Yeah, because they're different, they're different things. I think one is the high school education, one's elementary and junior high, cultural recreation holidays, growth and development and progress. And then you've got the federal and state elections, the town and city elections, politics and government. So he kind of listed out what those chapters were and why they would be important to continue on.
I think those binders must be, reading this again, those binders that were scanned must be those articles that we have.
That's what I'm thinking too.
And it was just the early I think he said 1990s or 1994s or something like that. So it wasn't, there wasn't a lot after that, but.
Yeah.
But the Riverton Family Search Center, I think, they have this subscription to all the newspapers, so they pay for it. And so you can just go on their computers and they can show you how to pull them up and stuff. I know I pay for a subscription for my home computer for doing genealogy and stuff. And it's great because they just come up, a lot of things come up. And things like, I think when the city's in the news and stuff like that, you'll want those kind of things. And then the city council meetings. And then I had a friend who knew I was on the commission. She has been a lunch lady, manager for one of the lunch rooms, anyway, for a middle school. And she has a book on Jordan's school district that she says she's going to give me, so that would be a good resource too.
Thanks for doing that.
Oops. Oh, and Cheryl Garnett also has Scott Crump's phone number. And that's who I got it from, so.
You gotta have a leader with a lot of passion and a lot of time.
I know. Who would that be?
What do you think?
Yeah,
After he retires?
after he retires. I would say after he retires, because he's pretty busy otherwise, I
Yeah.
think.
So do you know him well?
I do, he was my bishop, yeah.
Wonderful. Will you just talk to him and tell him we're planning on him?
Okay.
We'll call him on a mission.
Yeah.
To write the history.
He's gonna be close to retiring,
I would think so, probably, I don't know, yeah.
or maybe he has students down at BYU that would be willing to take on as a project.
do the research and gather information and,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, and that is his, isn't that what he teaches, is
Yes.
history?
Yeah.
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 Utah history, I think even, so.
Well, and he's, and no, 'cause they've lived here for forever, you know, yeah. Beginning of Riverton, probably,
That's cool.
so, I'll tell him.
Tell him we got his job.
Tell him it
I'll
was unanimous.
Everybody voted.
We'll put it in the minutes and then you can take
And
it.
the only way to get out of it is he has to come to council and tell us he's not gonna do it. I'm kidding, but
Yeah.
he's perfect.
Oh, he
for
would
the
be really
job.
good. He does a lot of good things. I know
He does a lot.
they sent him to China to do something
Yes, that's right.
there, and, yeah, he does a lot of good things.
I'm gonna talk about you mentioned brochures getting approved.
Talk about what Brooke's done. Okay, so, first of all, this is our historic tour. This is what Brooke imagines, he'd like the pamphlet to kind of look like this, so that it matches the same kind of, look that he's already established.
And just for the other committee members, we met with, and I think it was back in December, we met with the comms department and Ryan, the city attorney, to talk about the brochure and the plaques. And since then, the communications department has kind of mocked up what our brochure can look like that's official through the city, as well as the plaque. And I think Jamie was saying we're at the point now where we just need to pick the very few, like, official pieces of the brochure, and then it's ready to print.
Okay.
And then when that happens, we can start going out to people and actually getting them involved and registered. And
So city council did pass the ordinance, changing it to 50 years. And then this is what Brooke wants everyone to decide, so just take one of these. So he came up with these two ideas. One is for a very small plaque, which would match the look and feel of other plaques that we have. But another idea that he came up with was a big round looking coin. It wouldn't be a coin, but it would be a round one.
and it'd be that.
Yeah, and then he did the mock-up on the house. I love Brooke.
I love the one on the left.
Do you like that? And that one is a lot cheaper, so he got me prices. It's been so long ago, I'm trying to remember
It says
what it was. Oh, it's on there. Okay, perfect. Okay, good. So that would be the price. And so we just needed to decide so that he can put that in the brochure and we can get some ordered.
My first thoughts, I love the concept one, and I don't want to give Brooke more work, but I wish it said something like historic registry, like
Oh,
on
this
Riverton.
isn't, that's just,
Oh, that's just
he
what-
said we can have it say whatever we want.
If
He
it-
just, that's our coin
Yeah.
right now. We have a coin
Okay.
that looks like that.
Because I think if you kept something like this, but you said like, I don't know how you want to word it, but on the Riverton Historic House Registry, on that,
Right, I was thinking the
that's
same.
perfect. Yeah, because instead of saying Riverton City and Historic Preservation Committee,
I
Commission.
think if you took out the middle portion and added what we wanted it to say there, and you could still have the Historic Preservation Commission, Riverton City on the outside of it.
Yeah, my thoughts are, since it says Riverton already in the middle, it's not necessary to have Riverton on the bottom. So just having Riverton twice there, so maybe we keep the middle and have it just say Riverton Historic Preservation Registry Home, or something like that, to just describe what it is that is significant about it. Because we could do the plaque, and then it has a huge room for description, but I think if we can get it for $50, I mean, Kim already has, what, 5 homes that can already qualify?
Yeah, probably closer to 8 or 10.
Yeah, so I mean, there's, $500 right there versus.
And that's the 75
2,000.
years and over, that's not
Yeah.
even, the 50 opens up a whole.
So $500 instead of $2,000, I think I'm erring that way.
My only other thought is, we originally talked about the plaque concept as just something that they could show off,
Yeah.
right? Whether to themselves or to friends and family that visit. A 6-inch coin, even if it could hang on the wall, would that do that? Would that serve that purpose?
I think depends on the quality of it. If it's, thick and you can put it in a shadow box even, or put it in a china cabinet, or put it on your house, I think that'd work. But if it's kind of a flimsy, stop sign type of material, I may change it. But I don't know what a metal alloy, does that mean? Is it like a stop sign thickness, or is it more?
It's pretty thick.
Yeah, so I'd,
Say the thickness. Metal alloy, doesn't say. Okay.
I think I'm attracted to the price, and we can do more.
So Ben, are you more attracted to the plaque, or you were just asking what everyone else thought?
No, along with his first comment, as long as it says something that people know what it is.
Yeah,
I think that's, if we can come up with some wording that, like this home
Yeah, let me pull it
was, placed on the historic registry on this year or something, maybe. I know that's pretty wordy, but
Well, no,
something that people know what it is without even having people have to explain it to
How
them.
about then, whatever the official name is, Riverton Historic Registry, added April 2025.
That's a good idea.
Then we can have it customized each time, so it feels like, oh, I just got my house added in 2030, but built in 1930, right?
but I don't think if you customize them, it's not
That
gonna
would-
be 50. I think that's like, you're coming up with something that is the same wording and you order 10 of them.
Yeah.
Where if you order it, if we are only ordering one and it says the actual date,
Would you give a certificate with the plaque?
yeah, I think we would do that in
that
city council.
information on
Yeah, and then the plaque would be more
it? I mean, the
generic.
year that their home was built or whatever to qualify in that time.
So if we design the certificate so that it could be displayed next to the coin and have that information that's customizable.
Yeah. Yeah, you could have in a cabinet the coin and then a plaque and a shadow box, or a certificate.
Or they could put the certificate in their home frame somewhere, whatever.
All right, so will you guys work on the wording and get some advice from Brooke as well?
But before then, do you want us, Jamie, to vote on which one we like so he can get started on it?
On the little, I know.
I think
So
the
we'll
year it
ask-
was built and the year it was added to the registry, I think are important.
Maybe, so what Jamie was saying is we'd order these in bulk, say we ordered 10 of them. Do you think we can ask to see what it would be to just add a customized?
Yeah, I think we
'Cause
should.
if it ended
I'm just
up
saying,
being-
I think that price may have been
Yeah.
a bulk, but I don't know for
If
sure.
it's $100, that's still 150 cheaper than the plaque, And then we can say added to registry April 3rd, 2025, built 1940, right? Which I think would be unique.
And maybe he could just order one at a time.
Yeah, and
So
if we
we'll
can see
just
the
ask for
pricing
a
on
credit
that.
ask.
But I'm for the one on the concept one.
I like that too.
Yeah, and if you could put that on your house and it says when your house was built right there on your front door, that's cool.
Yep.
A lot of people, I think, would be willing to do that. And it's free for them. I mean, this is, yeah, can I borrow that? So maybe we could do built, 19 whatever, and then
Put like
added.
historic homes registry. I'm trying to find out what it's called. Oh, historic sites list. That doesn't.
So I think there's the Riverton Historic Site List and the Riverton Home Registry, right? There's the two lists.
One is meant for just saying this is a cool, how we're recognizing it. And the other one is more robust, that they would be seeking to preserve their house, and they'd have to submit any changes or to us for approval. It's much more deeper thing than the other one.
Yeah, it's the Riverton Historic Site List. I still think we could word it just Riverton Historic Registry, right? Riverton Historic Home Registry, or just, yeah, Riverton Historic Home, but you'd have it look like that, where you have at the top, Riverton Historic Home, built, added to registry that day, right?
Right. Yeah, I would prefer the home. I would shy away from using registry just because it's not
Perfect.
technically that.
So just Riverton Historic Home, built 1910, added to the registry 2025. Added to the, yeah.
Or added 2025.
Added to historic home list. Wording's okay.
Yeah, we can workshop it later.
But yeah, that'd be great. So that
You approved, Historic Commission?
approved by commission on this date? Yeah. Yeah.
Checked it out.
We need a vote on if we're gonna do that one, and then
Okay.
Alex and Kim can come and meet with Brooke again and finalize everything, so.
Okay, we need a motion to approve the coin design of the plaques.
I make a motion to approve concept 1.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 You'll just wanna get me a time when you wanna come see Brooke. Email me. And let's get it rolling.
Okay, so to recap what we need to get done, if we're gonna disseminate information at town days, is finalize the plaque idea, finalize the brochure, and get the historic homes information on the website so people can go there, and basically the information that you want in the brochure, but maybe.
Is the only thing we need for the brochure this? Okay.
The council, that's what we were looking for. and
Could
he's-
he send us,
He'll send us a
his-
proof,
yeah, before we print it?
and then we'll send it out to everyone and make sure we don't see any errors.
And then
To tap that if that comes up.
I'll work with Jeff to get the website portion of the oral history project more up and running, and then I'll work on the pictures on the website. And then I'll send you the information that I have on organizing documents, and then we'll coordinate a time to show you everything. Okay? Okay.
And Josh says, yes, as long as it's not too large, and then reach out to me. So,
What is
the
it?
booth, to put something at the Riverton City booth. So who's ever going to.
If we get a 6-inch plaque, or the 6-inch coin, have it standing, and then have a pile of brochures, I think that's all we need.
Okay, and then Tish, you wanted to talk about budget for the fiscal year 2026?
Right, I need to know what you want me to pitch.
So
How much do you need? 100,000?
I recognize we haven't spent a lot, but there are a few things that I do know that we've talked about spending money on. We've talked about plexiglass cover for what we have in the one room, because we had over the one, but I think, do you remember which one it was that we needed it over? Was it the
The
wash
doctors,
basin? Yeah. We also have additional historic markers and signs for the city that we can spend the money on and that we've talked about.
Or what is it, the conditional, what did you say?
It's a sign, historic sign, just like we have down here, but one was for the Withers Dairy Farm.
Oh, okay.
And we talked about for the church building on 126th and Redwood, and in that same area for the commercial building.
Those signs are how much a piece?
I thought they were 1,000.
They're 1,000? So that's 320, okay.
So if we'd like for this next year, I think we'd be in a good position to move forward with those. The only, I've called a couple times, but I really haven't really pushed for it yet to get permission from UTA, because that plot of land is actually leased from UTA by the city. And I originally had contacted the right person and asked for permission to put the signs there, and he said yes. And then he said he would email me that, and he never did. And then I've had the hardest time getting a hold of that person. So I will work on that as well to try to get that email, because when I went to our communications department to talk about moving forward with those signs, they said they needed that email. So I. Okay.
My other job, I work with UTA a lot.
Okay, yeah, that would be very helpful. Okay. Yeah, I'll send you an email on that.
So if we use our budget this year to pay for the historic homes, the brochures, do you think we're gonna need more than 5,000 next year if we focus on these signs?
Well,
Or
the
do-
signs would take up 3,000. The plexiglass, I thought you said it was like 500 or something?
No, it's probably over 1,000.
4,000, so that's 4,000 right there.
They're like a ripoff, because you have to pay for them to be shipped here, because nobody in Utah makes them.
And these, concept one is 50, but if we do have it, say, built whatever the year we have that, it'll probably put up the price, I don't know, maybe to $100 each, so only doing 10 would be 1,000.
But we have, I think this year, if we can get them ordered, well, we can't order them.
Yeah.
That's what's bad.
When does fiscal year 26 start for the city?
July 1st.
How fast do you think Brooke can get us the price of a customizable 6-inch coin?
Pretty fast, yeah. I can
That
even
would
ask
help.
him tomorrow.
Determine how much we would need.
But that is the only disadvantage to having them more customized, is we're not gonna be able to order a bunch for this budget year. We'll probably just have to order, like, however many you can get designated right away.
I guess for me, it's gonna come down to the cost, how much it's gonna be for customized. And if it is 100, then I say we still do it, but if it's 1,000, which I don't think it would be, but that's just a no.
And then I have a question for everyone else about future budget needs. Going forward, some of the things that I wanted to focus on was utilizing Riverton's monthly email that they send out to people, and putting like a did you know or a history section that linked to the website. And then we would also have additional research projects to kind of bolster that website and the information we have in there. Because what I wanted to do was I wanted to gather all the information and all the projects that people worked on that we have and get it on the website, structure it well, and then build it from there. That doesn't necessarily take a lot of money to do. There are certainly lots of opportunities for additional historic signs throughout the city, which we could focus on. But did anyone else have any hopes or ideas for ways that we would spend our budget in the future?
I have one, but I know I won't get it approved this year, but really want to sometime budget enough money to have architectural historian come and do a review of the building. So we have all that information and then make barcodes so that you could take your own self-guided tour of the building and learn about the different features of the building. For example, those little green tiles that are all along the walls, they come from a unique ceramic factory. They probably worth at least $75 a piece. But, so it'd be cool not to have that posted, but if it was on a barcode, people could read it, you know, and the beams, some of the beams, the structure of them is very unique. So even the pine in the Sandra Lloyd Auditorium, you know, anyway, there's a lot of history in this building. I walked around it with the state historian. He was thrilled. We just need to come up with the money. And that's going to cost about $20,000, probably 25 now. But it'd be cool to do at some point in time.
Okay. Yeah, it's really unfortunate we can't set aside $2,000 a year to save.
I know, exactly. That's what I think. Just get an account where you just put money in it every year for 4 years, you know, $5,000 till you come up with it. That'd be really great.
That would work
That's
out
similar.
well with what we wanted to do with the pictures that we have everywhere in the display and on the walls. We were gonna, and on the descriptions of them, we were gonna add QR codes that would link to the website.
Yeah, QR codes. But this year then, it sounds like I'll ask for 5. 5 should be plenty, right?
Unless the coins are different and we wanna still go that round, but
Yeah,
I think it'd
I don't
probably
think they're
okay.
gonna be that much more expensive.
If we moved it to 6, it wouldn't be a big deal. But we'll leave it at 5, unless I hear from you.
Okay. All right, does anybody else have anything they wanted to talk about? Okay, then we can adjourn the meeting, and thank you guys all for coming.
Just a motion to adjourn.
Oh, motion to adjourn, thank you. Sorry, I'll get a hang of this
I
one
know,
day.
it's fine.
It's so foreign to me. So can I make that motion to adjourn, or do I have to? Okay. Motion to adjourn. Do we have a second?
Second it.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Awesome.
Forgot the aye.